Yeah.
How's release been?
It's been pretty good. Probably about what I expected. Um,
Okay.
yeah, the community was pretty good behind it. Got some good speed running going on in
Oh,
the
that's cool.
Discord. So yeah, they're finding all the fun little bugs and stuff. But
Yeah, of
yeah,
course, yeah.
it's been going well. Yeah.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
That's freaking rad. So, how do you feel like you're like, "I did it. I released it."
Yeah.
A little
Yeah,
bit
I
of
mean,
like a
pretty much. It's
sigh
like it
of
was
relief.
a lot of worry up to the release day, and then it happened, and it was like, oh, I guess it's just that was it. There are no games out there that are super popular that are not good games.
Professional complainers on the internet, they get on there and they just like I'm like, "Do you even enjoy anything?"
I was under the assumption that release day would have been where the majority of the sales were, but it wasn't.
At the very end of the day, if you're looking at making a game, just make a game.
There was one person that like it was very obvious that they were using AI.
I mean, it'll make almost anything for you. Now, does it make it well or perfect? God, no.
Oh yeah, this game works the way I think it's supposed to work, but when you're making a game at a certain point, it's not your game anymore.
You have to be able to explain what you're doing in the most simplest terms.
I never would have thought I had 70 people in a Discord playing my game. It was interesting seeing the difference of like release day versus the following like week or 2 weeks and just like the number of sales coming through.
Mhm.
And I was under the assumption that release day would have been where the majority of the sales were, but it wasn't. It was, that following weekend and into the next
Mm,
week. So,
interesting.
but
You
yeah,
think
let's
that's
just
just
cool to
like
see.
you think that's just the way that the Steam algorithm kind of promoted it in a way, or do you
Yeah,
think it's just
I think probably because I released it on a Tuesday, which, is not
mm,
necessarily the most popular day for playing games and stuff. So,
mhm,
but it's, it was the best for me for visibility because of the,
mm.
into the weekend, everyone tries to get that and stay on the Steam page. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's rad, man. I mean, I think, you're maybe I have one other person I've talked to so far. Well, I think only one other person, but they didn't
Mm,
not on Steam, just they've released something. So
yeah.
you're the first one I think I've talked to that's
Oh,
released
cool.
something so
Yeah.
far, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's rad, man. What do you got anything planned next? Are you conceptualizing or are you taking a break?
Yeah. So I told myself I was going to take a little break, but then I started jumping into this other like prototype because I'm trying to
Uh,
learn how to make like a roguelike and just
okay,
design.
yeah.
Because that's the thing about this like platforming game. I was like, this is fun, but it's also not the genre of game I normally like to play. So I was like, okay, let me try
Uh-huh.
to do something like that. And I kind of am doing it more for fun and less like trying to make money off of it.
Yeah,
But
for now.
yeah, yeah, for now, for
It's fun
now.
for now.
Yeah, yeah, for now. If it starts becoming something more, then we'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like that's always how it kinda works out. You're like, "Oh, I wanna see if I can make this thing or whatever,"
yeah, you
and
get like an idea, and
see, you
then
did it, and you
yeah,
start to bat it around, and all of a sudden, like, "Well, what if I put this, and then what if I
yeah,
did this?" And then all of a sudden, you're like, "I guess I'm making a game now."
yeah, 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 yeah. What are you working on?
Uh
Anything?
yeah, no, I mean, we're working on, our game, Troublemakers,
Mm,
and it's coming along. We're redoing all of our key art right now.
mm,
So I keep telling people have, like, looked it up, and I was like, I mean, a lot's gonna change with it. We've done a lot of recent major changes to the game, but our right now, our tentative not so much tentative, it's pretty, like, we're pretty locked in,
yeah,
we're gonna release our game in October 31st, so we're gonna do a
nice.
Halloween release. It
Yeah,
kinda fits with the theme a little bit.
mm,
All of our characters are, like, kind of eccentric or exaggerated versions of, like, some sort
right.
of monster-esque type character or
Mm,
something like that, so but yeah, I mean, it's been fun. We're, I mean, it's been a labor of love, that's for sure.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
we're coming up on 2 years now, I
mhm,
think, at this point, so we'll see.
yeah.
It's a multiplayer too, so, I mean,
Oh,
we
cool.
have that whole bag of
Yeah,
issues that we're trying to balance out. Luckily,
yeah,
it's not, like, super competitive, it's
mhm,
very casual, like, that's the way we designed it, was to be casual, so, like, you get a bunch of sweaties, it's like, "Okay, good job, you're a sweat."
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not as fun.
Yeah,
So
but,
did you guys do
yeah.
the like Neck Fest? Are you planning to do one?
Mhm, yeah,
Yeah.
October,
Oh,
actually,
okay.
'cause,
So you're gonna roll right
yeah,
into it. Yeah.
our October is gonna be, like Judgment Month because there's like several things. I mean, then there's also another festival, the Halloween. I don't even
The
know.
Scream Fest or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna do that one as well. So it's literally
Nice.
just we'll have some ads coming out here soon too. We're gonna do some light ad testing just to get some
Mhm.
metrics, and then we're gonna pump like a bunch of stuff. Basically,
Yeah.
we're just gonna go absolutely bananas in October,
Yeah.
and we're trying to get up to a certain wish list number before that date,
Mhm.
before October,
Right.
and then Judgment Month.
Yeah.
It's what I
Yeah.
so. But either way, I mean, we're doing early access,
Yeah.
so we're kind of like this is not like once it's launched, if we don't get quote unquote the metrics or things that we really were working towards, like we're like, okay, no, we're just going to keep
Right.
iterating. It's a multiplayer game. You can kind of, they live forever in some way
Mhm.
or fashion. So but yeah, that's yeah, we're working on it. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. um so this is your first Steam
Yeah.
game,
First
correct?
official release. Yeah. Not the
Yeah.
first game I made. I made a bunch like just for me and my friends to play around and just to learn because it's fun. But
Hmm.
I was um tired of telling myself I would one day make a video game, so I just kind of
Mm.
hunkered down and and went at it. So
Yeah. What what do you like train like have you always wanted to do game design, or were you doing something different and you're like,
um
screw it, I'm gonna go into games?
so I have a computer science degree and I'm a software engineer full time.
Mm.
So I play a lot of games. So I'm on my computer all the time. And I was just like, I really enjoy it. I like making music. I like the art aspect of it. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, let's just do it. So
Mm. That's cool.
yeah.
Oh, that's rad. What now what made you think of making I guess an only up chess? Like, are you a big chess like player, or is
No,
that
I do like chess a lot.
Mhm.
And this was part of the deal I made with myself of trying to like make a game. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do everything that I can, like quote unquote, right. Like, you see those, like, I think it's like Chris Zurkowski or something, like
Mm. Yeah,
the marketing guru. He's like, oh, you should make a
yeah,
game like this. And so I
yeah.
deliberately was like, okay, what is a popular genre that has, a big potential for bang for your buck? Um,
Mm.
and I was kind of assessing, that body and only up style game because they're fairly easy to make. I mean, you see a ton of them all the time. Um, and then I was also looking at like the landscape of the, content creators and streamers, and there's like a lot of content creators that there was an overlap between like them playing chess. Like, I don't know how familiar you are with like Ludwig or like Sea Dog or
Yeah.
all those people. It's like they all have played
Chess
chess
got
at one
super
point.
popular out
Right.
of
Yeah, exactly. And
nowhere.
then they
Yeah.
all play the Jump King only up. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something here. And then
Mm.
I just kind of kept prototyping and prototyping. And I was like, okay, there is something here.
Hmm.
And I just kind of went from there.
That's rad. I mean, it definitely caught my eye when I was looking at it. I was like, wait, is it chess? Wait, no, it's like a platformer. Wait,
Mhm.
no, it's like
Yeah.
like it took me a
I
second to
mean,
figure it out. I was like, no, this is pretty rad. So like when you're moving in the game, does it have any sort of like traditional like chess elements to it, or is it just the visual is chess?
so all like the chess boards are the Stockfish like chess engine, like the actual
Oh
chess
wow.
engine. So you're playing real chess. And
Okay.
then like the little pawn you're controlling is, a typical 2D platformer. You can jump and
Uh-huh.
stuff. There's some like jump timing mechanics and which makes it more foddy and only up, but
Mhm.
for the most part, it's similar.
Okay. So like for instance, like, like certain pieces can only move, in certain aspects and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
when you're going up, you're doing your only up, more or less. Uh the pieces themselves move in certain aspects to try and trip you up, or like I'm playing it, and then what do I expect, like, as I continue to climb the chessboards,
So
so to speak?
yeah, so a lot of the way I set up a lot of the boards is they kind of are one or two move like puzzles, but they're chess puzzles. So
Hmm.
if you know chess, you'll be fine. If not, you might struggle a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, as you move up, the puzzles become a little harder, or you know, in some instances, I have forced checkmates. So like you have to checkmate to get your super jump to get to a new section. And so
Got it.
it kind of truly is a balance of platforming and knowing how to play chess.
That's pretty neat. I mean, that's like, I mean, you got to think of several dimensions. You
Mhm.
got to think of like, okay, how do I put this, whatever, how do I put the king in check in this
Yeah, for sure.
particular aspect? But then also, how do I move? How
Yeah,
do I do
right.
the puzzle, or how do I
Mhm,
do the platforming part of it too?
mhm.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, man, I like I said, when I first was looking at it, it looks super interesting. That's obviously why I'm honored for you to just even entertain the show, and be part of it. And just like I said, I thought what you were doing was interesting. So I just wanted to kind of get inside your head.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyway, yeah, so let's just kick it off. So what I'll
Sure.
do is I'll give you a little bit of an intro.
Okay.
Um, let you kind of talk a little bit about, how you came up with the idea. Like, just give me a rundown of what you were going through when you decided you wanted to make Who Wears the Crown, and then
Mhm.
let's go from there. Yeah.
Okay. So my name's Doug. Um,
Mhm.
I came up with the idea for Who Wears the Crown because I was trying to be deliberate in making a game that would make money, to be
Mm,
honest. Um, this genre of game isn't necessarily something I play all the time, but I noticed from researching that the Fadian only up genre was very popular. And I tried to look at the content creator market and landscape and see if there was a way to change or innovate that at all to stand out. And it seemed like there was a good deal of creators that played chess and I played chess. And I was like, okay, let's see if there's something here. So I created a prototype. It was not very good. I created another prototype. It was a little bit better and then a little bit better. And I was like, okay, there is something here. It's a pretty high concept game.
mhm.
So yeah, then I just kind of handed it over to my friends and they were like, yeah, there's something here too. And it just kind of took off and, and the rest is history.
I just realized you kind of took like possibly two of the most frustrating things when it comes two of the most frustrating game types. I don't
Yeah.
know exactly how I'm trying to say this. Uh, Chess can be very frustrating.
Mhm.
Only up can be very
Yeah.
frustrating. And so you took those two and like married them. And so like I can just imagine people wanting to. I haven't had a chance to play, which I'm gonna play it. I don't know if you noticed, but I started. Uh, my plan is to just stream the people that I've done their
Mhm.
games or had on the show. I'll probably cut this part out of it, so
That's right.
don't worry about it. But one of the things I want to try it out really bad because first of all, I love chess. I'm a huge
Mhm.
chess fanatic. I used to play with my dad. Not a fanatic. You'd probably beat me in chess, but I enjoy the game. I'm
Mhm.
teaching my daughter how to play the game. I haven't been a huge nerd about it, but I do enjoy it. And
Mhm.
so like I want to play it. And I was gonna say something. You so you initially made this because you're like, I want to make money. So you
Yeah.
wanted to be successful to continue. So does that mean like basically you're a software engineer, and
Mhm.
so like you're like, if this makes money, then I can make the leap to being a full-time game dev. Is that
Yeah.
was
Or
that your
just,
trajectory path?
yeah, right. It was, the idea was to make money to either move full time into that or take the earnings from this game and invest it in another game and just kind of keep
Mm,
rolling it forward and forward and forward.
got it. Okay. And is it just you who made this game, or did you have
Yep.
like anybody? Just so you did
Yes.
the
Yeah.
art,
So
you did the
I
coding?
did, yeah, I did everything. I had some help from friends, game testing and giving ideas. And then,
Mhm,
from the community, obviously giving feedback and stuff like that. But
mhm,
yeah, all the music, all the art, all the gameplay, everything. Mhm.
mm, mm. That's cool. So how are we doing on that goal of quote unquote to make enough for the next project?
I mean, I think it's enough to invest in the next project. It's only been a
That's
month.
awesome.
But I think the projections were right around where I calculated them at. So I'm pretty happy with that.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and I think, even more on top of that, I have a very tiny audience now that is following, stuff that I'm doing, which is cool.
That is cool. Did you make this in any engine? I know you just you having a software engineer background, do you use an engine or do you use Bootstrap that's build it yourself?
No, I used Unity. Yeah.
You use Unity?
Mhm.
I was just talking to somebody. It was funny. We were talking about his game for a while, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, I just kind of built my own engine and da 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 da." Da." I'm like, "Wait, wait, wait, whoa, 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 whoa!
That's
Hang
above
on a
me.
second."
I think I'm not smart enough for that.
Yeah, and but he glossed over it, and I now I try to get that out of people. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you aren't telling people you're building your own engine or or bootstrapping your own stuff together instead of using one of the more traditional
Mhm.
Unity, Unreals, Godot's, the list goes on. That's massively impressive in a lot of people's
Yeah,
eyes, and
completely agree.
I think it's it's really rad. But I mean, Unity's great. I mean, we're building ours in Unity.
Mhm.
It's a great engine. Obviously, it has a lot to offer,
Yeah.
not only from just community, from the community and things that they've built, but just as far as tool sets and things
Mhm.
like that. It's a great engine, and obviously, it's kind of more or less the standard. I feel like when it comes to
Right.
indie development in this type of 2D platformer,
Mhm.
2D esque type of genre. Um, so let's see. It took you 2 years to make this, but you'd been prototyping this, like Who Wears the Crown, for 6 years, more or
No,
less.
so I was learning to make games over the previous 6 years, and I made
Got it.
several that I just never released. And then this was the one I was like, if I'm gonna do it, let's try to really do it, try to take
Yeah.
steps and do some research, some market research and, try to market it on my own and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Have you gotten any of those prominent people that you kind of mentioned to take a look at it yet, or?
No, no, unfortunately. There was one Grand Pooh Bear. I don't know if you ever have heard of him, but he's a like speedrunner platformer player. He played the demo. But no, no. But
Mm,
that's okay. You take your shot sometimes and sometimes
yeah.
it doesn't land.
It's tough because it's like you wonder how some of these more organic things happen
Mhm.
where you see like somebody like somebody pick up a game and then all of a sudden it literally goes completely like I think of like Vampire Survivor. I mean, like I
Sure.
feel like
Yeah.
it absolutely blew up. I think
Mhm.
Asmund played it and it just went bonkers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And everyone started playing. Ironically enough, our game is a uh, 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 um, a Survivor-esque game.
Right.
But it's so you try. I mean, I know we've sent emails to tons and tons of people to be like,
Mhm.
"Hey, are you interested?" And it just kinda goes on
Yeah, you
deaf
get no
ears, but it's
no response. Yeah.
you don't even get
Yep.
anything. It's
Yep.
like, "Okay, yeah." It's like
Mhm.
business inquiry, email here, and you're like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
all like inspired to.
Right.
Um, that's funny. So what's the plans for are you going to so you said you're possibly kind of teasing something else, like working on
Mhm.
something a little bit. Is that, in is that a little is it completely different than what you have, like, this only up type model? Is it so what's kind of the idea of what you're thinking about next?
Yeah, so right now I'm prototyping another game. It's a roguelike game. It's kind of a roguelike simulation game. I don't
Mm.
honestly don't even fully know what it is yet because I'm in the I'm in the very
Mhm.
beginnings of it, but I've enjoyed playing around with it. So it's pretty different. But
Mhm.
that's something I've been thinking about a lot is, right now the audience that I've built on TikTok and YouTube are primarily from this chess game. So I'm like, how do I transition them to something else,
Mm.
So we'll see. It's something I'm mulling over in my head because it's only been a month, but
Right.
it's been a month for the public, but for me it's been 2 years. So it's like I'm
Of
ready. Like,
course.
okay, let's do
Yeah.
something else.
Well, it's definitely tough. Like I know, like I said, we've been working on ours for about 2 years, and it's hard to stay so focused on one
Yeah,
project for so long.
it is.
2 years. I mean, people. I digress. That's some people stay on projects for much longer than
Yeah,
that, but also you sitting on that one project on all of being creative and staying keeping all of your creative focus on one that
hmm
it's really easy to kind of daydream, I guess,
yeah,
in a way of while you're working on a project,
mhm,
and kind of like, oh, what if I was starting to, and then you start to drift off. And I've been doing that kind of recently because there's a lot of things that kind of been put on hold. A lot of the
mhm,
things that I specifically work on, it kind of I've been able to work on too much lately until we get this big thing done first, and then I can kind of start
right.
back up. But, it's you start to kinda drift off and daydream, like, "Ooh, what if we did this, and what if I started doing this?" And then you're like, "Oh, maybe I'll maybe just make this one thing," and you gotta go,
Yeah.
"Nope, nope, 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 gotta stop," because it'll then one like, you start to work on one little thing, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden it becomes now it starts to envelop your entire creative process, like,
Yeah.
for me, for sure, yeah, like, I have massive hyper focus, so it's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, this is the only thing I can think about right now."
I mean, I'm guilty of that too during the development of this game. Like, there was probably a month or 2 where I was just feeling so burnt out, and I started making other things, and I was like, "Okay, I'm good. Let me go back to the to the other thing."
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, maybe well, and in a way, this is kind of what this has happened with me a little bit with just like the show. It's kind of let me kind of take a little bit of
Mhm.
a step back from the development aspect and kind of work on
Yeah.
something else that still helps,
Mhm.
but is it it definitely I'm able to kind of transition my creative brain into to other avenues and
Yeah.
maybe it helps sometimes to take a break.
Oh, I think
It could
100%.
take a step back.
Yeah, yeah. I think taking a step back was really good for this game because I think once I came back from the 2-month break I had, I just had a different perspective on it, and it kind of changed the direction of what the
Mm.
game was.
That's interesting. What were some of those revelations? Like you took a step back and then you're like, okay, maybe I'm gonna do this differently. What were
Yeah,
some of those?
so I think up until that point, the beginning, probably for the first year of this game, it was mostly platforming. So like
Mm.
there was a really there's a timing mechanic in the jump right now. So you can fail the jump and fall, and that's where the, funny clips come from. But
Mhm.
it was more focused around that and less around the chess. And then as I played it more and talked to, my friends testing it, it was really like, okay, chess has to be more of the focus here. So now it's like,
Mm.
now we're forcing checkmates to get a super jump. And then, if you get put in check, you can't move. So it's
Mm.
more to that because around that time is when I started like marketing it and I launched the demo and people were playing it and being like, wow, this jump is terrible. Like, I don't even want to play it anymore.
Oh,
And I was like,
jeez.
oh, shoot, I got to go back to the drawing board a little bit. And yeah, so
That's yikes.
mhm,
Then
yeah. But I mean, it happens, and that's why feedback is so important. So,
oh, for sure.
mhm,
I've used this. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like Valve's strategy when they were building like Half Life and things like that.
mm,
One of their big things was like testing often.
yeah,
And they would build like little tiny aspects of like Half like one little corridor, one little area, and they were trying to just test like one feature more or less. But they would basically anytime they built anything in the game, no matter how small, they would basically get like a group of like 5
mm,
testers, and they would just sit there and watch them play the game.
yeah,
And they'd be like, "Okay, let's," and then we just sit there and take notes. And they did that through almost the entire process of Half-Life and kind of have molded it or used it for like all of their other games that they make too, or made at that time. They don't make so much stuff anymore, but
yeah, yeah,
now they're just Steam.
yeah.
Now it's all Steam all the time. Um,
I
but I
mean,
thought
that's
that was really interesting. You
yeah,
know
that's
what I
a
mean?
good
And
philosophy for sure.
yeah, because it's I mean, well, first, it solves a couple things. I think they had an advantage too, is just finding people to play the game
Mhm,
sometimes is really difficult.
mhm,
We've had problems with, like, friends playing the game and not getting that feedback that we really need.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep,
They're just like, "Oh, yeah, it was great. It was fun." And you're like,
yeah.
"Okay."
Yeah, that's the worst part. It's like they don't want to hurt your feelings, and they're like,
You're like,
thankfully, some of my friends, they're just like, they don't hurt your feelings, but they're just like, I think you should change this. It feels bad if you're doing this. And I'm like, okay, that's the
"Mm,
feedback I need.
mhm." Yeah, and that's sometimes that's just exactly, that's the stuff you, like, are kind of looking for. You're like because, I mean, a lot of the time when you make stuff, you're like, you think it's good.
Yeah,
But you also ultimately, you don't know if it's
yeah,
gonna be good or not. You don't know if people are gonna care or like it or whatever. And so, like, yeah, like I said, we our friends, like, they just kinda give us, like, "Yeah, it's fun. It's I don't know, that was cool, I guess." I'm like, "Okay, thank you, whatever." I guess.
yeah.
Um, it's hard. How did you seek out or did you find o other than your friends, were you able to test out, other people or have other people test out with the community? What
Yeah,
was your
so
process in that?
I probably did this maybe a little backwards than what you're supposed to do just because, first time doing it, but I launched my
Of
demo
course.
really early.
Mm,
Probably 8 months before,
wow.
um, I launched the game just because I didn't know. I was like, "Yeah, you're supposed to have a demo out." So I launched the demo, and when I started marketing, I was like, "Hey, go play the demo and, like, join the Discord, let me know what's going on." And,
Mm,
thankfully, the community has been so amazing that I've gotten a lot of people joining the Discord, playing the game, being like, "Oh, I don't really like this." And then we talk about it and I update it and they're like, "Oh, this is much better." And,
mm,
even like the comments on YouTube and TikTok, they're like, "Hey, like one of the best things I added probably was like the animations of the piece moving." They were like, "It's really, really hard to follow when you're making a chess move and the piece is just like in the square. So can you make it like move to the square?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's such a great idea because people watching the game will be able to follow it easier too." And I was just like, it's the
mhm,
little things like that you don't really think about because you're so close to it. And it's like, "Oh yeah,
mhm.
this game works the way I think it's supposed to work." But when you're making a game at a certain point, it's not your game anymore. It's the community's game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's, I mean, we have a lot of people, like, I know sometimes when we're making it or we're working on stuff, you're in a vacuum. You
Mhm.
don't have, feedback. And it's like sometimes you lose sight of who you're making it for.
Yeah.
And, for us, it's like, or just in general, it's like, making really anything creative, maybe not anything creative. If someone's going to make a painting and, you know, hammer a sponge on a board, you know what I mean? By all means. But I mean, but this is the thing about game development is that since it is more than just a piece of art that you can put up there and you can have a set of completely objective people that are just like, yeah, I like it. And everyone's like, okay. In this way, it's like you're trying to market, sell it, and then have people
Right.
interact with it. It's not just staring at it and then having your own opinion of what it could be or what it is. It's very that feedback that you
Mhm.
have when you play games, and so um I don't know where I was going with that, to be perfectly honest with you, but I think I think I've had way too much coffee today is really what's going on, to be
Yeah.
honest. Um, but, I think where I was going with that is just, like, as far as your marketing in the community and stuff like that, getting that feedback because you are so close to it
Mhm.
sometimes, you just really it helps you kind of navigate who your audience is and
Yeah.
if you should be giving them what they want
Yeah,
or
100%.
giving them what they want.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, the goal at the end of the day is to make something fun, right? So
mm,
if your community is playing your game and they hate it, that something's gotta change.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We were just kind of touching on that as far as the criticism and kind of you navigating like which direction you should go as far as getting that feedback. How do you go about like what's valuable feedback and what's not valuable feedback? Because
Sure.
sometimes it's hard to kind of distinguish what's good and what's not.
Yeah, that was definitely something I struggled with once I started, like, making the YouTube Shorts and TikToks and stuff like that, is, I think I had to learn that not every every negative comment is worth paying attention to because a lot of them are not constructive. They're just like,
Mhm.
"I don't like this."
Mhm.
It's like, "Oh,
You're
this."
like,
I've gotten a couple where it's just like, "This isn't gonna do well," or, "Oh, this is like every other chess indie game. It's gonna fail." And I'm just like, "That okay." You get angry at it for a couple minutes and then you're like, "This guy or this person has nothing better to do with their life. Just move on." But
I,
there were also very valuable, comments, like, the one about the animations. That was a YouTube comment someone made, and I was like, "Yeah,
mhm.
that's perfect." So it's kind of a balance between, sussing out what is constructive and what is just someone just throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping to make you angry.
Mhm. I call them professional complainers.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good way to
They're
describe
professional,
it.
yeah,
Mhm.
professional complainers on the internet. They get on there and they just like, I'm like, "Do you even enjoy anything?"
Right.
Like, "I know, I hate chess. Why would you make this game?" They're like, "Then this isn't for you."
Yeah,
You
that
know what I mean?
100%,
You know what I
100%.
mean? It's like,
Mhm.
this obviously is not why. Go somewhere else,
Yeah,
change the page, go to something, do something else.
right.
Obviously, this is for people that might like chess and might like only
Mhm.
up. So,
Yeah.
but, Yeah, sometimes it's hard. I know, like, for us, we've had some comments where, in a way, it was like it was hurtful, but also constructive.
Mhm.
But it was like, people called us a Temu Vampire Survivor. I've used that. I've had a short on that. They're like, Temu Vampire Survivor. I was like, wow, that sucks. We've been spending 2 years on this thing. And we definitely don't think it is.
Mm,
But what we realize is that, like I told you before, how we're redoing our key art and we're
mhm.
changing a lot of animations and making it more, we're changing a lot of our artistic fidelity kind of
Yeah.
thing. And so it made us realize, like, we did one thing, which was we set out to kind of make a clone of like Vampire
Yep.
Survivor, more or
Yep.
less. And we basically kind of did that, but now we're too close.
Yeah.
Now we're too close to that.
Mhm.
So we have to find our differentiators. We have to split from there.
Right.
We think we have a big difference from, Vampires Forever to our game, but
Mhm.
I think people just aren't seeing it. And so it's like also kind of sparsing sometimes what seems on the surface
Mhm.
possibly unconstructive or
Yeah.
possibly hurtful in some
Yeah.
cases, and being like, okay, wait, but let's take a step back. If they're saying that, it's because of this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
have you had situations where you're like, on first glance, they've said things that you're like, okay, but then you take a step back and you're like, okay, no, this is what I think they're trying to say.
Yeah, a lot of it was around, the jump mechanics actually, because, a lot of people, when you imagine the Venn diagram of people who play chess and people who are good at precision platformers, there's a very slim overlap. So, I kind of figured that the people who are more into the chess side of things wouldn't really wanna deal with the bad jump mechanic, and
Mm,
then the people who are good at precision platformers may not want to deal with the chess side of it. So there were a lot of comments on both sides of that, being like, "Oh, I'm good at platformers, but I suck at chess," or "Oh, I'm good at chess, but this jump failure is awful." So
mm,
that led me to creating custom settings. So you can
mhm,
you can turn off the jump failure. You can change the Stockfish elo to be lower or higher if you want more of a challenge, and it kind of was, a revelation to me being like, "Okay, yeah, I get what this game is because I'm making it, but do is it really for the audience that I'm trying to get at?" It's like, I just tried to I think I niched down too much, so I had to broaden it
mm,
with the custom settings. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool that you added that custom setting so people that like chess can make it more chess.
Mhm.
People that like more platformer can, or quote unquote platformer, can make it
Yeah,
more platformer.
right.
But that's cool. I mean, that's one thing that, like, I just don't even think people would think about, or being a developer would be
Mhm.
like, well, how do I make both sides of these communities happy?
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's really cool. What did what was your process like when coming up with, as you're climbing, like coming up with the puzzles, the quote unquote the puzzles to try and get past
Yeah.
certain aspects? Did you, like, kind of give me a kind of a bird's eye view of what that looked like when you were coming up with those?
Yeah, so, the main level, was where the majority of my time was spent because for some context, in the tutorial level, there are 15 chessboards that you have to get up, and in the main level, there's 160.
Mm,
So, and there's 160 boards, but then there's also three difficulty levels. There's casual, normal, and immortal, which change like where you get reset to and the difficulty of the Stockfish engine. So, and each of those have different boards. So really, I was doing what 480 chess puzzles, so it was
yeah.
a lot. And in the beginning, it was just trial and error. I would set some puzzles by hand, play through them, be like, okay, I kind of understand what I'm trying to get at here, and then send them to my friends, and then they'd be like, okay, I can get up here. And then there were some where it was like, well, more than some, but there were a lot where it was like, I made a puzzle thinking it would work one way, and then you get in and you play the Stockfish chess engine, and it makes a completely different move than you're expecting, and it's like, oh, this
Mm,
completely breaks everything. So what I ended up doing was, I would hand set some of the puzzles, but I wrote a custom script to make random chess positions, and I kind of just like would set a bunch of random chess positions, try them, see what worked, see what didn't, and keep the ones that I did and didn't want. So it was a lot of
mm.
custom tooling, a lot of trial and error, but Yeah, we got there eventually.
That's interesting. So one of the things I just noticed what you said, which is like you use the Stockfish engine, which is what uh basically like chess.com is
Yeah.
built off of. And so like how did you integrate that into your did you like so there's Stockfish on top of layered or somehow on with
Yeah.
Unity or
Well, yeah, so they're actually the Stockfish library is open source, so you can
oh
basically
okay,
use
so
it
I didn't know that.
wherever. And on the asset store, there actually was someone who had integrated Stockfish into an asset that you could use within Unity. So
Wow.
I built the game on top of that. The Where the majority of the bugs and problems come from in the game is you can only have one instance of Stockfish up at a time. So you can
Okay.
imagine for 160 boards, you're passing that, you're starting the instance of Stockfish, shutting it down, restarting it, passing it around.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like a lot of the bugs are like you make a move on one board and then you click on another board too quickly, or like players do, they hit the escape button and the restart button at the same time, and you've never done that
Yeah.
in your life. And then Stockfish is like, what the hell? And you're moving different pieces on different boards, and so that's where the majority of the pain was. But yeah,
That's crazy. And I mean, latency must have been
yeah,
between those things. I mean, because obviously it's a platformer, so the fluidity needs to
mhm,
be still needs to feel good. But then you're also basically you're destroying and opening
mhm,
these more or less instances on each board
yeah,
uh almost immediately. So that's really interesting. That's pretty cool. That
yeah. And that was one of the challenges too, is getting like the strength of Stockfish right for each difficulty,
Mhm.
because initially I had it so that the casual difficulty was like 800, normal was 1,000, and
Mhm.
then I think immortal was like 1,300 or something. And when you went down to like casual to play, because it was a lower rating, Stockfish was making the most random moves you could imagine, which made it actually harder to get through the level. Whereas if you
Oh.
played through the higher difficulty, Stockfish was making the same move consistently, so you could learn from it. So I had
Mm.
to like bump up each rating by like 300 points just to get it more consistent. So
That's
when people play the game, they're like, "Oh, your normal is 1,300. I'm not even close to that." Well, it's like, well, it's 1,300, so it's easier for you actually, not so it's harder for you. But
right. It
yeah,
made
it
it
was a
so
weird thing to
tho
balance.
those lower ratings I mean, it was too random essentially.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
mhm,
in the higher ratings, especially in the beginning of a chess game or it's pretty standard. There's
yeah,
a standard set of plays, and once you start a game,
yeah,
at a relative not a new person to chess, like, you kind of like, okay, they're gonna do I don't know the numbers E5 and all that stuff,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you know what I mean? You have your
mhm,
standard set of moves that you pretty much do on the first, like, 8 turns or something like that, you know? And, that is, it'd be fun almost to see what it would look like with just an absolute sheer randomness, though. Like, have such a
be
low
very
rating.
hard.
Did you try anything with that such low rating and
So
seeing how it plays out?
yeah, so in the custom settings, you can actually go down to, I think, 500 is the minimum I have set, and
Okay.
it's very random because the way Stockfish works is it knows all of the available moves that you can make, right? But then
Right.
there's a based on your rating, there's a percentage of if it'll take the top move or not, and it'll just like keep going down. So it's
Mhm.
like maybe there's a move where there's like a one move you have to make, that's one good move to get you out of like check or something. And
Mhm.
it'll just make the complete opposite move. And then the whole puzzle is like, what
Yeah.
the hell? So it's again, it was very hard to balance, but it was also hard to balance because in the game, because you control your own pieces, if you're playing against the lower rated Stockfish, you can almost just move your white pieces wherever you want because Stockfish is never going to take them. So then it breaks it in the way that you can just basically make your platform directly up without having to think at all. But then
Uh,
also at the same time, it could just break all of that because it could take a piece you're not expecting. And then you're just like, okay, well, what's going on here? So
yeah. Well, because I'm ass yeah, because each puzzle, like, isn't necessarily I'm assuming it's each puzzle, you're not necessarily always trying to get in check or checkmate, you're trying to
right.
make it to the next
Yeah.
rung or next
Mhm,
ladder.
mhm,
And so you're moving pieces in a fashion either to get someone in check or they have those puzzles in chess.com
mhm.
where you're not playing a full game, you're playing a problem.
3 moves.
They have a set of
Yep, right.
problems that they
Mhm.
have set for you, and it's like you have to put the guy in check in like 4 moves.
Yeah.
And you're
Yep.
like, "Okay, how do I do this?"
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's much closer to something like that than it is
Yeah.
playing a full chess
And
game.
and so the first, like, half of the main level is handmade puzzles, and, like, kind of just some platforming, but then, like, the second half of the main level is basically puzzles like that, where it's like, "Okay, this is a 3 or 4 move checkmate," and then you have to do, like, 10 of those in a row and get your jumps and stuff like that, and, if
Mm,
you fail or, like, you get checkmated, you only go back to the beginning of the section, and then you can kind of just remember and learn and just keep going up, so, yeah.
okay, cool. Um, so as far as your community and your Discord, how's your community been growing? Has it been like kind of a steady, gradual grow, or you have like a cult like following now? Like what's
I wouldn't say a cult-like following, but, it's so when I started doing the marketing on, like, TikTok and YouTube, I got a bunch probably right away, maybe like 20 or 30 people joining right
Mm,
away, and then from there, just kind of slowly kept growing and growing, and then, I I don't know why I didn't do this before, it didn't occur to me, but I was watching some indie developer video on YouTube, and they were like, "Oh yeah,
mhm.
you should put a link to your Discord in your demo." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So then I did that, and I got much more. I think we're
Uh,
at like 70 or 80 now, which is cool. Um, now that the game has kind of been out for a month, it's activity has slowed a little bit, but in the
mhm,
beginning, especially when it first came out, there was a lot of activity in like the speedrunning Discord,
mhm.
channel and just the general. So now people trickle in every now and then because of the videos and playing the game. So it's really cool. I before starting, I never would have thought I had 70 people in a Discord playing my game. It's a cool
Yeah,
thing.
that's rad. Oh, you wanted to start marketing earlier.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so I think that's a common theme with a lot of indies, which is I should have started my marketing a lot sooner.
100%. Yeah.
Should have started a lot earlier.
Mhm.
Um, and obviously guilty ourselves, for sure. But it kind of give me a little bit of like your thought process on why you didn't, but also like what made you realize, oh shit, I should have done this a lot sooner.
Yeah. So, I mean, why I didn't maybe is a little retrospective.
Yeah.
I think it's, life just happened. It
Yeah.
was like I was actively working on the game, so it was very hard to like commit to making videos or posts or anything about it.
Mhm.
And then just, work and travel and family stuff. So it was hard. But then I was like, the game's coming out. I don't want to push it anymore. I just need to start doing it. So probably I think like September, I made my first like YouTube videos
Mhm.
and TikToks and stuff. And they kind of blew up a little bit. And I started seeing like higher and higher wish list numbers. And I was like, okay, this is really
Mhm.
cool. And then, when I went to it was probably 2 weeks before, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be on, like, the popular upcoming and all that kinda stuff because I just, like, wasn't quite at
Mm.
that, like, 7K threshold or
Yeah.
whatever it was. And then I was just thinking about it, I was like, "Dang, I really should have started, like, even 6 months more, I probably would have been double what I'm at now and hit that threshold and been
Mhm.
there." But it is what it is. Lesson learned. It was the first one. I'm not too upset about it. I'm for only marketing for 5 months. I had like 5,000 wish lists before, and I was like, that's pretty good to be honest. About a K a month. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So
That's phenomenal, actually. I mean, I've talked to tons of people that are under 1,000 and they've been marketing for a lot longer. So it's
yeah,
like, it, what do you think is the one contributing factor as far as like what's the one thing of marketing so far that you were like, oh, this is the thing that definitely got me to where I was. And what's more important, the
yeah,
game itself or the marketing?
yeah. I mean, so okay. What I will say is, I think my game had it a little easier than most games because my game is very high concept.
Mhm.
So, you know, when the pawn is falling and you hear the little like plinko sounds and as it's hitting the pieces, it's falling down, people just like love that. Like you look at the statistics behind the scene and they just like, if they don't stay for the whole video, they stay for the whole moment that that is happening. So
Mm.
once I like realized that and learned that, it was like that was like in the first 5 seconds of every single one of my videos, and it just kind of it went from there. But I don't think you can have successful game without it being good. You know,
Yeah.
you think about I'm thinking about you know, Schedule Run One right now, the game that's just absolutely blown up with like no marketing. It's
Mhm.
like you think about how many really good like indie games are out there, and then you think about how many games have actually like blown up and done really well. It's like there are a lot of really good games out there that just didn't catch the spark, but there are no games out there that are super popular that are not good games. So like
Mm.
at the end of the day, I think having a good game is more worth it than having good marketing, but marketing is still important in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at your game Schedule One. This is actually, believe it or not, this is the first time I've heard of
Oh, really?
Schedule
Oh, it's
One. Yeah, this
everywhere.
is the first time I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Um, I'll have to take a look at that. It
Oh,
looks
yeah, it's everywhere.
looks interesting
It's
to say
it's
the
it's like
least.
it's like GTA Lite kind of. But it was made by one dude and he had no marketing and some streamer just started playing it and
Oh, geez,
he's made tons and tons and tons of money. But
crazy.
but I play it with my friends. We just played it last night. It's an extremely good game. It's very fun, very deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have him on the show.
Yeah.
We'll see. But anyway, no, that's it's and that I think we kind of it scores what we were just talking about, which is the community aspect of
Mhm.
people telling you what more or less they want out of your game
Yeah.
and you making those pivots, those important pivots when you did. Um, because and also just your planning process from the beginning, you're like, okay, gonna cackle a couple of genres more or less that I know are, like you went after chess and you went
Mhm.
after the only up. And only up obviously blew up.
Yep.
That whole thing went crazy.
Right.
Very similar to like the Vampire Survivor. That went
Mhm.
absolutely bananas as well. And then chess obviously is a staple now, but like that also went completely viral. What was it, like a couple years ago or
Yeah.
something like that, when all of a sudden people started streaming it, and now you got all those streamers that are all like trying to be chess pros all of a
Mhm.
sudden. Um, but I think the early planning process for your first game is important. And um, once again, I don't know where I was going with that. Like I said, the coffee jacked me up today.
That's all right.
Oh man. But it's cool. I mean, I just you're right as far as visually, when you first see your game, you know exactly what it is.
Mhm.
And it's simple, but it's simple with depth. And you're like, okay, it's chess, and I'm gonna be climbing up as far as I can go. It's very simple to
Right.
conceptualize. There's a couple other people that I've talked to that have done very similar things. I know it's this, and I know I have to do this.
Yeah.
And so if you can, I come from a business background, and one of the things you always learn in business is just like you have to be able to explain what you're doing in the most simplest terms.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like trying to dumb it down, but it's like if you can plainly explain in a couple sentences exactly what you're trying to offer somebody, that's how you get through to that's how you do it.
Mhm.
And yours is a visual representation of that.
Yep.
It is, you know exactly what you're getting in like 2 seconds,
Mhm.
and you know exactly what you're going to get, and
Yeah.
what if this is a game for you or if it's not a game for you. If
Mhm.
it's not a game for you, you leave a bad review.
Yep. Yeah.
No, no, I'm kidding. Don't play the game if you're not interested. But anyway, um, yeah, man. So, uh, are you whatever you plan next? Are you planning on working with some other people potentially? I know you said you're barely conceptualizing something new. Are you thinking about maybe, hey, I'll add some expansion or like like because obviously the game's out, so it's like you kind of start to tease what you're going to start to do next. So then,
Mhm.
what is that? I know we've already talked a little bit about it, but I'm just kind of curious what you kind of think the direction you want to go.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about working with some of my friends because we've always wanted to make a game together.
Mhm.
I kind of just enjoy the process of making games and figuring things out. So I think this time around I'll probably just do it for fun and see where it
Mm,
takes me. But I don't have like I'm not doing the market research or anything like that for this one. I just want to learn
mm,
and see what happens. And if we end up with a more polished product, maybe we'll throw it up on Steam and see what happens.
mhm,
But yeah, nothing quite as serious the next time around, at least for the moment.
mhm.
I know there's like some crazy statistic where it's like 90% of people that release a game on Steam only release like one game or something like that. I don't want
Yeah.
to be one of those people. Like I want to do it again, but like, I think right now I need a break from like the research and the marketing and all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, the next one's probably just for fun mostly.
It's very all consuming.
Yeah,
That's for
it is.
sure. All the way up into even depending on what you release, but even till after release, I
Mhm.
mean, it's very, very consuming. Like, okay, I mean, and I've said this before, but it's more than just a piece of art. It's literally it's art, it's coding, it's marketing, it's business, it's so many different things. Even as a small indie dev, possible team, or even a solo dev, you're building out so many facets that not other artists necessarily have to build out,
Mhm.
but you do when it comes to games in the
Yeah,
game industry. Just getting it and then getting out in front of people just to even talk about it, and then getting people to hate on it. I mean,
yeah,
it's a wild ride.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
for
It's
the
running a
faint of
business.
heart.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's really, really not. So I'm curious just more about your personal background as far as your job. So what do you're a software engineer. So what do you who do you can you say who you work for, or like what how long you've been doing
I'm not
that and all
say,
that
but
stuff?
I work in the insurance industry as an
Okay.
engineer. So work on well, right now I work on like internal API stuff, but
Mhm.
previously I worked on like policy administration stuff like
Mm,
that.
got it.
Yeah.
So, what languages did you start off learning when before
So
you
in college I started with Java,
Mhm.
but now it's everything. Pretty much everything. It's like
Oh,
Java,
wow.
Python, Bash, C Sharp,
Mhm. Are you
HTTP, all
relatively
that.
comfortable with everything, or is it like you have more preferences over others?
There are some annoyances, especially with like web dev, like front end stuff. Like Angular can be annoying sometimes. But I don't really have a preference necessarily. It's everything's a Google away if you don't remember the syntax, which I hardly ever do. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's mostly where I'm at now. It's like mostly high concept designing stuff and figuring out where it's gonna go architecturally. But yeah.
Mm. Do you use much, Copilot at all, like, when you're doing much, or is it
No, not really. We don't use it at work because it's kind of a security risk, honestly.
Mm,
And personally, I think AI is a little bit overblown.
mm,
It requires a lot of babysitting.
mm,
Um, and I know that you can get things done fast, but it's not always right.
mm,
So it's a lot of getting things done fast and then having to spend 10 times longer fixing and understanding what was written in the first place. So
mm,
it is used for non like coding things, I think for like transcribing meetings and stuff like that,
mhm,
but code no.
mhm. That's interesting. I don't know if you saw, but Canva just released their Code AI. Did you see
Mhm.
that by
No, I
chance?
didn't.
Woo! I mean, obviously to the layman, it's very, it's if you feel like you're telling it's like a genie, like you just got a
Yeah.
lamp because you
Mhm.
literally just say, and I just wanna make it very clear. Clearly, it is not for making any sort of, anything super noteworthy, but the it gave me that same effect when you first use ChatGPT. You kinda
Mhm.
go, "Whoa, wait a second, what is
Yeah, it's
this?
like,
This is kinda
why does
interesting."
this know this? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very shocking, and
Mhm.
so, like, they have a code, I think they have
Mhm.
a whatever, Canva code or something like that, and, you basically just say whatever program or thing or whatever you
Right.
want. Like my wife, she was goofing off with it. And she really has been, she's like, I want you to make a clicker for me. She wanted me to make like a clicker game.
Mhm.
Specifically, she wanted me to make a K-pop light stick clicker game or something like that. Okay. And so I was like, I'm like, I'll get to it. I'll try and make it eventually, whatever. And then so this thing just rolled out and she was goofing off with it. And it literally did a pretty freaking good
Mhm.
job at making, I mean, because a clicker is so simple and
Yeah.
making a relatively decent clicker. And I was kind of shocking. I was kind of like, holy crap, that actually functions. Not only that, the loop it made, like the game loop it kind
Mhm.
of created itself is wild. Like
Yeah.
I'm shocked, but the only reason I bring it up is because this whole Canva thing just came up recently, and I thought that was really, like I said, it's like having a genie lamp almost
Mhm.
because it not only does it make, I mean, it'll make almost anything for you. Not does it make it well or perfect? God no, but you can at least get. I think for layman, you can almost get a decent concept of where you're
Sure.
trying to go. You're like,
Mhm.
this is because it can be very hard. I know with like artists specifically,
Mhm.
when you're trying to get a specific type of art or something out, it can be really difficult working with someone, a concept artist. You're like, no, that's not it. No, that's not. So iteration after iteration after iteration, and then obviously expense after expense after expense,
Mhm.
it can get very frustrating and difficult. So to kind of get a rough draft that you can present to somebody, this is a foundation of what I think I don't want to go.
Right.
And giving it to someone, you almost give someone a little bit of a head start on getting a little bit closer into what your brain is actually trying to present itself. But
Yeah, I mean, it's
it was shocking. But anyway,
no, yeah, I was just gonna say AI is definitely powerful, and I think it has its uses. Like, I'm not gonna say I don't use it, not for code, but like if I'm doing research on something, I will I will basically use it as a way to point me in a direction. And
Mhm.
I like that it's conversational. It's like, hey, how do I do this thing? And then it's like, oh, do this. And then I ask a question about it, and it's like this, and I'm like, okay, great. And then I can go like search that specific thing on Google and find the technical documents about what I'm looking for. So
Mhm.
I think it's very powerful in that way. And I think it definitely has its uses, like, even in like Photoshop, like you just circling a person you don't want in your picture and it just takes everything out. Like that's a perfect example of good AI in my opinion.
Mhm.
But
Doing decent assumption. It does a decent job at assuming.
yeah, yeah.
Decent.
Mhm. Right.
Um, yeah, case in point, I mean, even for this show, like the new program I'm using, I was using just Discord. Like I just have people,
Mhm.
we would just share our screen or whatever. I'd turn the camera on Discord, and then I would sit there and record it on OBS, and it was kind of a pain in the butt to be perfectly honest. And then I found this program, and it goes straight into my editing software, which has AI tools in
Yeah.
almost everything, and I'm like, it turned my editing endeavor from a 3-day project to a 3-hour project.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? By being able to cut out pauses and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's the only reason I think I bring it up is it's so controversial in the creative space.
Yeah.
Um, and there, I know I've talked to several people that have used small bits of code in some facet of their project,
Mhm.
whether it be, you know, anyway, just small. They've used it in small aspects of their
For sure.
projects and things like that. Because especially if you're not a trained software engineer like yourself, and they're trying to make something. Let's say you're an artist. You're just like I want to make artists, but I'm an artist. I'm a trained tactile artist, but I want to make something that's more interactive.
Mhm.
And it's like if you can build something small that's
Yeah.
interactive that lets you get you almost there. Um, I think there's a market for that. But anyway, that was it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely has its uses, and, the one place that I really am very against it is, like, the art aspect of it.
Mm,
So when I was doing, like, the capsule art for my game, I paid someone on Fiverr to do it. Well, I paid a couple
mhm,
people, but I, paid artists to do it, and there was one person that, like, it was very obvious that they were using AI, and it kinda caught me off guard because, like, um all of their like previews or like past clients or whatever, it seemed like hand drawn stuff. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then I got it
mm,
back and I was like, what is going on? And she was like, no, 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 it's not AI. I was like, this is AI. I know it's AI. So it's like I
mm.
put what I asked into like ChatGPT and it like came almost directly back. And I was like, dude, what? what's going on. So I ended up getting a refund and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm just so against, I don't think it's
Mhm.
good for anyone.
Mhm. Well, I definitely think that, like, something like that is, like, way off base. Like, you're on
Yeah.
Fiverr and you're literally just reselling AI art. Like, that's
Mhm.
kinda wild to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's wild. I've had a couple of people, like, I had some students, that, they used, AI art for their platforms in their game,
Mhm.
and, I'm like, "You're gonna get people to hate you for sure." There, because for me, it's, I'm relatively neutral on the subject. I think there's some uses in it, concepting for sure. I think I've worked with a lot of different artists and trying to get certain concepts out, and it's like,
Mhm.
man, you'll be, several $100 invested in, and you're
Yeah.
still not where you want it to be. You
Right.
know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, well, now do I start square one and do I go find a new artist? Like, what's the deal here? Where it's like, you can sit there, and I've said this before, but you sit there and just hammer out a prompt like for hours,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
To get something close to, and then say, okay, now let me get an artist in. Kind of like I was just talking about, like
Mhm.
people that aren't, you know, professional coders or software engineers or whatever can make something close to what they want, but it's where you're sitting there trying to just absolutely sell what
Right.
the robot made.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah,
like,
that's
a robot made
too
this,
much.
and here you go.
Yeah.
It's kind of go, well, wait a second here, man. Like, that doesn't quite fly. But
Mhm.
it's going to be wild because it's the, 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 what we notice, what is made from the robot compared to the person, and the line is getting so close,
It is, yeah.
more blurred. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? The lines are getting so much closer than they had been before.
Yep.
um, but yeah, I was going somewhere with that. But oh man, it's a wild world out there. Oh yeah, with the guys that use the platform, they were using AI art for their platforming and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Seriously?
I'll tell you what, I got a lot of hate on it, or they
Yeah.
did. I didn't use AI art. They got a lot of hate on it. Um, oh yeah, but I mean, it's also hard. I think a lot of it is, I like the idea of lowering the barriers, leveling a
Sure.
little bit of the playing
Yeah.
field.
Mhm.
Having too many barriers, especially with people that want to make something creative. Like I said, concepting, I get it. Like, concepting is a good place for it
Yeah.
because there's no reason to spend a ton of money on something that you're just trying to get a concept, especially if it's something you're not even going to end up using.
Mhm.
You're trying to get an idea and you're like, you know what? This is a dumb idea. I'm not even going to use this thing.
Right, right.
Well, why throw away a bunch of money doing it?
Yeah.
But anywho,
Yeah.
you said something like you basically paid attention to a lot of their super
Mhm.
popular indie games, but like not so much of the smaller, not so much
Yeah.
popular. Um, have you basically now you're seeing a lot now that you've gone through this process yourself,
Yep.
you're kind of like, okay, like kind of give me a little bit more details on that.
Yeah, so I think it's like most people who think about games or play games, right? It's like you obviously know the AAA games, and you probably know some of the bigger indie games.
Mm.
But do you really know like the little tiny indie game that has like 1,000 followers? Probably not. And it's
Mm,
like when you're doing research, which I'm sure you know of, like when you're going to release your game, you're kind of looking at the other games around where you're releasing it and being like,
mhm,
okay, what's my competition here? How, like, when
mhm,
should I release all that kind of stuff? So I was looking at, some websites and looking at game releases. And then I was looking at the games and I was like going to their Steam page and I was like, wow, this looks really cool. Like, I should put this on my wish list. And then the more I did that and the more I looked, I was like, wow, there really are so many like really cool games that I never would have, because like I don't pay attention to the Steam store page every day. Maybe once in a while if something gets pushed to me like everyone else.
mhm,
You wait for the algorithm to give you something, but it's like if you pay attention, there's so much stuff that's coming out and so much good stuff. I mean, granted, there's a lot of slop, but
mhm,
there's a lot of really cool like niche indie games. Like the one game that came out shortly before mine, it's called like Time is Honey. It's just like
mhm.
this little like idle like bee game. And I was like, this is great. Like it was like, I don't even remember, $6 or something like that. And I was like, yeah, this is really cool. And I just pay way more attention to those little games now. And like even though the game is out, I still look at those those lists of like what's upcoming and just peruse through those and see if there's anything cool that catches my eye.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I've found a lot of people is in the indie Reddit,
Mhm.
obviously,
Yeah.
is where I've seen a lot of people. There's like 3 or 4 different Reddits where indie devs basically post
Mhm.
things. And some of those projects is it's kind of the essence of this show, which was just like, there's so many cool projects out there that people don't even notice
Yeah.
that these devs are struggling with just trying to get any sort of attention on their
Mhm.
games. And I'm like, which in my opinion, I believe them to be able I believe they should get that sort of attention.
Agreed.
People should be noticing some of these games. And one of the big things between like a AAA or even larger indie dev compared to small solo type
Mhm.
indie devs is just like when you buy their game, like there's a much larger impact than
Yeah.
buying something from like a AAA. I've said before, it's like, you know, you buy a AAA game. I'm like, you're not just the devs get a portion, obviously, they're
Mhm.
working on it, but it's like it goes through so many different hands before you really feel like it makes an impact.
Yeah.
Where those small dollars that you spend on those indie devs actually make a pretty large impact
Mhm.
on their success and their future to move forward and continue in making
Yeah.
games. But is this is kind of the show is it just a giant I'm hoping not a giant.
Yeah.
I died. Let me back up for a minute. It is a hopeful megaphone for
Yeah.
smaller indie devs to be able to get their word out there and just talk about generally how the trials and tribulations of
Mhm.
making an indie game because it's not easy. It's
No.
definitely not easy. It took you 2 years to get your game out there.
Mhm.
And if I had to go through your own personal ups and downs to even get it there, um, and labor of love,
Yeah.
it
It
really
definitely
is.
is. It definitely is. Like that's the one I think you asked a question about one of your questions was like, you know, how do we how do we make it so that or no, well, I don't remember what the question was, but I think one of my
Uh,
answers was like, I think um, a lot of people think game dev is easier than it is.
mm,
Or there's like influencers that are making it seem easier than it is. And
oh,
I
right.
sort of have I sort of have a problem with that a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to call anyone out here because I'm not about that life, but
Mm,
um, I think it's kind of a disservice to indie devs and how much work it actually is.
mhm,
I mean, granted, I fully 100% believe if you really want to make an indie dev, you can make an indie dev. But
mhm,
it's like you have to understand going into it that it's very hard. It's like
mhm,
you said, it's the coding aspect, the art aspect, it's potentially managing a team, managing a community, doing your marketing, doing your
mhm,
research, all that kind of stuff. So it's very difficult, but it's also very rewarding in my opinion. So
mm. Well, anything that you spend 2 years working on,
yeah.
uh, at the very least, you're gonna learn something.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
it's not quote unquote whatever goal metric that you've set out to
Mhm.
achieve, at the very least, as long as you don't, stop or give up, I mean,
Mhm.
you've learned something. Man, I had such a good quote. I was talking to my wife yesterday about it. Um, God, what did I say? Um, something about like failing and I'm not gonna remember it. But anyways, it had that same kind of theme. It's like you never really fail if you don't give up type of
Right.
thing, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
100%.
And it's like, even if you don't hit those quote unquote metrics or goals or things like that that you set out for whatever project that you went out
Mhm.
to build, it's like, you know, you can always see the silver net and reflect on what you've learned to even get there and then continue to move forward to make the next thing. Um, I was talking to some guys from Finland, and they just uh or actually I was talking to the one of the artists from the original artist Angry Birds, and it's like they made 20 something games before Angry Birds became
Mhm.
Angry Birds. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's like, yo, they had like a bunch of slop essentially,
Mhm.
and then Angry Birds won mega success, which is a worldwide known game. And
Yeah.
it's like you just got to keep at it. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a passion thing for sure. And the other thing
Mhm.
too is like, first of all, like, similar to what you said, it's like you have to fail to learn, right?
Oh yeah.
Like in order to learn the best, you're gonna have to fail at things.
Hmm.
But it's also, I think it's one of the things where it's like, how many people can say that they worked on something for 2 years basically straight and accomplished and saw it through and finished it? So
Hmm.
so even if you don't hit the metrics and, maybe your goals are a little bit short, you still did something huge that not a lot of people can
Mhm.
say that they have done. So, at
Exactly.
the end of the day, yeah, I didn't become, I didn't create Balatro, but it's like I still accomplished something I'm very proud of. So,
Yeah. Um, uh, um, I like what you said there, which is like you do have to fail to learn. I
mhm,
mean, you don't. Um, I've said this before, but it's like I can show you the scroll of failures and then show you the
mhm,
post-it note of successes that I think that individuals have had to go through
yeah,
to learn. But it's like it's the ultimate recipe for growth. It's like I talk about also a little bit of like working out. It's like the only time you actually grow or gain anything is when you hit to your maximum like failure rate. It's
mhm,
like you're going and building and then you break things down and then finally they rebuild
yeah.
into something good. And so it's like it's that same mentality. But
Well,
yeah, we
I
went off on
like
a
that.
tangent on that.
I like that workout comparison though, right? Because it's like there are so many days where you don't feel like you want to go to the gym or you want to
Hmm.
work out. But the thing is, the most important thing is you have to show up and you just have to do
Hmm.
it. And on those days that you don't want to go, that's when you have to go. And that's
Mm,
the same thing with indie dev. It's like you're going to run out of your motivation to make your game so quickly that you
mhm.
just have to show up every day. Maybe not every day, but at least every other day. And just
Yeah.
even if you put in 10, 20 minutes of work and you fix one little bug, hey, you're making progress to your goal. I think
Mhm.
that's just so important.
I was always told, I had a really great mentor when I would, go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in a while because it doesn't matter. We don't need to go down that road. But anyways, at the time, I had a really good mentor, and he said, "The days that you don't wanna go are the days that you have to go."
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's like that's when you feel like you don't wanna do the thing that you should do are the days you absolutely have to do.
Mhm.
And it's also like, you're never gonna be upset when you do the thing you're
Yeah.
supposed to do. After
Mhm.
you finish and you've done it, you're never gonna be like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I waste my
Yeah.
time?"
Yep.
The exact it's just, you just you know what? Put your headphones on, put your head down, and just do it.
Mhm.
Just go through the motions, get the thing done, and move on. Next day will probably be a little bit
Yeah.
easier.
Starting anything is the hardest part. Every
Oh,
time you sit
absolutely.
down at the computer to start making your game, it feels insurmountable, and then you start doing it, and it's, an object in motion stays in motion. You just keep going. You
Uh-huh.
sit down to do something for 10 minutes, and you're there for an hour, you know?
Mhm. I love that analogy as object in motion. I've used that one a lot. It's like
Mhm.
once
But it's so
it's
true.
much harder to get the ball
Yeah.
moving
Mhm.
than it is to keep a ball moving.
It is.
And,
And that's why, like, you mentioned the indie subreddit, indie dev
mm,
subreddit, and it's like, I don't know how much you read through that, but it's like I see a lot of posts where it's like, "Hey, what game engine should I use? What language should I write my code in?" It's like, just pick one and
just
start.
pick one.
Just yeah,
Just
just go.
start.
Just
Yeah.
go, fail, like
Mhm.
just try things. That's what you have
Uh-huh.
to do. And I definitely understand it's like you don't know what you don't know. So
Oh, yeah.
you want to ask, but like just try some. There's a million and a half
Mhm.
YouTube tutorials on how to do game development or how to,
Mhm.
make a pixel art sprite or
Mhm.
something like that. It's just go and do things and make things. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah, YouTube versity, man.
Yeah.
It's real. I mean, you can learn, and not only that, like it's crazy because as I've been starting to build this thing out, it's like now all of a sudden I have kind of a one like a communication with people that I didn't think I would normally even have at any
Mhm.
point. And so it's like it's wild how willing other devs and other people in this world are willing to just be like, "Oh yeah, what's going on? You want this help
Yeah.
or you have
Mhm.
this question on this thing or whatever," and like an
Yeah.
engine or something, or
Yep.
even just soft program. Hey, do you mind looking at my code for some reason? Yada yada. But it's just like people are in this industry are so much also just like getting in touch with people that you think are untouchable, like
Mhm.
big in the industry. You would be so surprised on just I can't name names, but like some of the people that I've messaged, I'm surprised they even messaged me back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's like wild how easy it is to actually get out there and actually just talk to people. But
Mhm.
at the very end of the day, if you're looking at making a game, just make a game.
Yeah.
Like just get in there and make something
Yeah.
and doesn't even matter. Like just go through the motions. You know what I mean? If
Mhm.
You want to make a Fortnite, just go into Fortnite Creative and start screwing around with stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Mhm.
give them credit. Those tools, they got some decent tools in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's some
Mhm.
mild scripting language that they built out for it. But you can use all their assets and just
To
start
start.
actually putting something
Yep.
together.
Mhm.
You know, so it's like,
Mhm.
oh, what art and stuff? Well, I'm like, just build it in Roblox. I don't
Yep.
know.
Yep.
You know, I've been teaching my daughter, and I think I still have it. I started with her. I started doing this thing with her.
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know if you Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, she started doing that, and, because it's like, well, first of all, I was, like, looking at it and going with it. I'm like, "Maybe I should start working on that thing too." There's some concepts in there that I
Yeah.
should probably refresh or go through as well. But anyway, it's just like, even being, in even let's say you're in your mid-20s, mid-late 20s, even 30s, like, you start with something simple like that. I mean, that'll teach you at least fundamentals,
Mhm.
but anyway. Well, cool, man. We've been at this for an hour and 15 minutes, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
So, have you got any questions for me or anything you specifically wanted to talk about? Or,
What sorry, what was the name of your game again?
oh, my game, it's called Troublemakers. So it's on Steam. We're redoing all of our key art and stuff. So
Oh, cool.
it's basically a PvP. It's not really PvP. It's kind of it's a vampire survivor with you're playing against four other people. So you're
Mm.
playing a vampire survivor like you normally would play a vampire survivor, you versus the map. However, there's three other people also playing, and then you can send things to their map to make it more difficult for them.
Oh.
So as you're playing it, they're gonna send like we have like these tornado things that'll come out of nowhere. They have like acid rain in some aspects, but just things that are happening to the
Mhm.
environment that make it much more difficult. And it's essentially a king of the hill. Whoever is the last
Right.
one alive wins the round. And so it's
Oh, that's
you
cool.
versus three other people. Yeah,
Do you think, from your perspective, you find it hard to, like, market that and, like, get the
extremely,
the key concepts across? Yeah.
extremely, very
Yeah.
hard. That's been our number one challenge is getting the multiplayer aspect. How do
Yeah.
we market that multiplayer aspect of it? And that has been probably our number one problem when trying to figure out how to market that part of it.
Yeah.
Because when you show video of it, it just looks like, "Huh." uh, as a Redditor once told us, a Timu vampire
Yeah.
survivor. They see it and they're just like, what is this? It's just a vampire survivor. Like, no, 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 no. You can play against people and you
Mhm.
get to screw with them. And it's kind of like
Yeah.
you dunking on, if you like to F with people, I'm like, this is fun. Like you get to screw people over. And so,
Yeah, that's really cool.
um, it's hard. That has been one of the yeah, definitely the biggest challenge for us
Mhm.
is so we're going in a very eccentric. I think it's going to be I don't know how the launch necessarily is going to go. I think it's going to be one of those things that slowly grow as
Mhm.
people play it because that aspect, that mechanic is so difficult. Maybe we'll find the silver
Right.
bullet eventually,
Mhm.
but that aspect of that thing, trying to market that piece is so difficult because it is our big like,
Yeah.
what's your distinguishing factor or what's your in business, what do they call it?
Like your hook?
Yeah, you're not even hooked, but it's something. It's like your big differentiator. Like obviously, there's so many things that are exactly the same, but
Sure.
what's the one thing that makes you different? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? What's your selling proposition? You know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And so it's like that's our selling proposition. But how do I present it to people in a minute and a half video?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we've tried this thing with like showing you the lobby, showing you kind of doing stuff, and it's still not quite clicking. But one of the other things too is our art. We're very fortunate where we have a dedicated artist.
Mhm.
So and
That's big. Yeah.
he's phenomenal. He's really, really good. And so we're redoing all of our key art,
Mhm.
and hopefully that'll be done. What day is it? Saturday.
Yep.
Hopefully that'll be done. I hope next week.
Yeah.
So all of our key art, all of our Steam page, everything's going to be updated with this new art style,
Cool.
which will look really cool. Actually,
Yeah,
we're
that's
really, really
awesome.
pumped up about it.
That looks
But
sick.
yeah, I mean, we're going to be doing play tests and stuff like that out there too in the Discord. So if you're ever around, you want to
Yeah, sure.
goof off. I mean, it's like I said, it's multiplayer. You get 3 other people on there. You're on Discord. That's one of the fun things about it is like when we play the game with me and like because there's 5 of us, when we're on there and we're just like goofing off with it,
Mhm.
we have some moments that are just like hysterical. Like you'll get hit by one thing, and then we have a teleport ability. You get teleported, and then like because people can just keep sending stuff to you. So
Mhm.
like 3 other people will just start launching things at you all at once, and then it's literal chaos. It's like it's
Yeah.
just bananas. Like stuff you just can't get your foot, and then you die, and then we have this quote like kind of like an AFK lobby thing where you're sitting in like what we call heck,
Mhm.
which is just basically
That's funny.
it's the only time you actually see the other players.
Okay.
If you die and somebody else dies, you'll actually see the other player in quote
Mhm.
unquote heck, but it's the only time you'll ever see them. But anyway, yeah, it's challenging
That's
getting
cool.
people to kind of understand that concept or just present it in a marketable
Right.
way.
Mhm.
Where like for you, you were able to show people falling, or you
Yeah.
were able to show the pawn fall, which people were able to grasp. Oh, it's like only
Yeah.
up. I fall, and then I have to climb back up.
Mhm.
Chess, obviously presentable. You can see, oh,
Right.
I play chess. I climb, I fall, rinse and repeat. The
Mhm.
game loop you kind of get. This has been, I don't know. We may hire some sort of professional to figure this
Yeah, that's tricky.
problem out. To be honest with you,
I've always wondered that about, like, complicated games. It's like, like, what do you show? It's just I
yeah.
think the only way to really do it is just, like, have people play the demo and, figure it out for themselves.
Yeah. Well, we're actually going to have our demo where we have a demo.
Mhm.
We're polishing up a few things on it, but it's going to be a much more condensed version. We actually made a
Right.
bot system as well.
Mm.
So like it'll base instead of you playing against other people, because I feel like when you give somebody a demo, you kind of have to give them a piece where they say, "Oh, I
Yeah.
want this, but I want more of it."
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? I like this,
Mhm.
but I want more.
Right.
And I feel like that's like a winning success when it comes to a demo. It's like, "Oh, I had a lot of fun, but I need more." And so that we've basically broken it. We're like, you can't do multiplayer, but you only have these many characters and these many
Mhm.
abilities, and here's a little taste of it.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna try and do playtest, but our demo will hopefully be out by the end of this month, I think.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're ramping things up. I mean, getting close. October is much closer than I'd appreciate it to be, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Man, that was a huge digression.
No, that's alright. That's cool.
Yeah,
This is
it's
great.
been fun. It's been rad. We're pumped up. We're a bunch of nerds too. Like me and my team. Uh, we're just a bunch of D&D nerds that
Mhm.
just love things that make us laugh and
Yeah.
like to. And we're pretty mean and brutal to each other. So that's kind of the essence of this. Like if you play troublemakers, you're kind of embodying the essence of being a troublemaker.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
that
fair.
is
That's how my friends and I are too.
it's you're just like if you like getting on the thing and just totally screwing your friends over while playing a game, like pissing people off. I mean, this is there's been so many moments where that's happened, and yeah, we get into it. um,
That's cool.
but anyway, hey man, this has been great. Let's do a little bit of an outro so that
Sure.
people know where to find your game, know where to find you, your socials, everything. Just give people a straight up like where they can find you, and then
Sure.
we'll go from there.
Yeah. So my game's Who Wears the Crown? You can buy it on Steam right now. If you wanted to follow along with the progress of the game or anything else I'm doing, you can find me at Dev the Doug on everything, on YouTube, on TikTok. Actually, that's pretty much all I have is YouTube and TikTok, but Dev the Doug.
Oh, perfect. Well, right on, man. This has been great. I've enjoyed having you. It's been a fun
Yeah, thank you.
conversation. We
Been
kind
very
of
fun.
we went all over the place,
Yeah.
which is more fun. That's kind of the theme. I mean, we just
Mhm.
hang out and talk about whatever you want to talk about, and just kind of go from there. But anyway.
Cool.